holiday comes other than Shabbat? Go ahead, say it. What happens on the 31st of October? So when I was little, I did get dressed up for Halloween, and we went to do knock on doors. We used to do trick or treat for UNICEF. Anybody remember that? We had milk cartons that we drank from at school, not these pouches. I don't know how you do it without the cartons. And we would make them into little pushkas, little tzedakah boxes, and we would knock on doors and trick or treat for UNICEF. Most years, my costume, can you guess what I was most years when I was growing up? Yeah, it would have been a good idea, but I should have said that, because we did have these like beards, and everybody wore a beard, but we were bums. That's what we were. That's what we could afford to be. We'd put like lots of layers on, and we were bums. That's what we went trick-or-treating as. And we would get little money coins in our pushkas, and sometimes we'd get food. Around the time that I was in elementary school is when they claimed that people were putting the razor blades in your apples or poisoning candy or stuff. Supposedly, and this is hard for me to believe because I remember when they started it, supposedly it has never happened. There's never been a razor blade in an apple. Maybe it was the candy company trying to get you to buy candy instead. I don't know. And you weren't allowed to make homemade treats anymore and give those out. So I read a couple of articles that came out this weekend about Halloween in Judaism. And so one theory was, why not? It's really an American holiday. It's not really a religious holiday at all anymore. And another theory was, you know what? I think there are religious origins and religious observances in some people. I mean, I know when I was in Italy, the country was closed for All Hallows Eve and All Saints Day, so it's certainly a Catholic holiday. This one rabbi said, isn't that cool that they observe Halloween Eve and All Saints Eve and All Hallows Eve and All Saints Day. Isn't that cool? It's just like a Jewish tradition where we have, Erev and Day. But this one rabbi put it this way. She said, you know what? I think that trick-or-treating has some Jewish overtones and some non. Like, we would never do a treat or a threat. That's what it sounds like. When you were trick-or-treating, did you do something mean if somebody didn't give you? Yeah, you did. See, we didn't do it. You grew up in New York. In New York, we had Gate Night. And Gate Night was the day before Halloween, and bad things happened. The Brotherhood had to do a 24-hour vigil of the synagogue because rocks and beer bottles got thrown through the synagogue windows. Almost every single year, some synagogues got hit. And so we had these vigils we had to do. But anyway, so most of us don't threaten or trick or, for treats. So that's one thing that we know is not really a Jewish kinds of things to do. But what they said was, if a kid knocks on your door and wants some candy, that's hospitality. And that's a Jewish thing. Hospitality is a Jewish thing. It doesn't hurt you to give out food. This rabbi said, and you've heard me say this, I say after October 31st, everybody should go to the store and buy their Purim costumes right away. Because we have holidays where we get dressed up. On Purim, we give candy instead of take candy. And if you're going, this was what the rabbi said, if you're going to celebrate Halloween, do costumes and things, then please also remember Shabbat. Please also remember Sukkot and all those other things. So anyway, for those of you, for whatever, that was interesting insights. Today, Jews, and we sent out an email about this, I hope you noticed, Jews all over the world are celebrating this international, I feel silly when I say this, celebrate International Shabbat Day. They call it a Shabbat project. It started in Australia, I think, and it has spread. There are over 1,100 congregations that are in 95 countries that are celebrating a complete Shabbat this weekend. So they're turning off their phones, and there's, the whole, reminds me, turn off your phones. and they're having a real Shabbat. A lot of times they'll have these challah bake-offs where they'll line the street near the synagogue with lots of tables, and they'll make challahs for the whole community to come out and do this together. We're not doing that. We hope that you do something. I feel silly saying do the Shabbat weekend. We are celebrating Shabbat with Jews in 95 countries. That's silly to say that because it's Shabbat. We celebrate Jews with Jews all over the world every single week that we're celebrating. So I'm going to get those two holidays out of the way. I hope you do something about Shabbat and know that there are countries that are doing it and the communities are committing to doing it. And if you hand out candy, know that that's a nice Jewish thing to do, is hospitality. And we'll talk about another holiday that is ending when we welcome Shabbat, but I still want to talk about it anyway. But first I want to welcome Shabbat. So we need to take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And try again. Let it out slowly. Can you feel more relaxed? Did you leave your worries out there? The stress out there? Headaches out there? Anybody else getting headaches because the weather's changing? Dr. Goodman told me that it wasn't an old wives' tale, that it really happens, and he was right. That I feel more pain in my leg and my back and my head because of the weather changing. But be smart and safe out there. So we are going to invite Dr. Carl and Sylvia to come up and help us with blessing the candles and the Kiddush on page 82. Please rise. We turn to page 82.
These lights are only flickering flames, yet flames illumine our uncertain steps. Flames remind us of Sabbaths long past and of their beauty that delights our hearts. May they inspire us to work for the great Sabbath of peace. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kachanu b'mitzvoso v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You hallow us with your mitzvot and command us to kindle the Sabbath lights.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We now turn to pages 167 and 166 for the Kiddush, the sanctification of the day.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine.
Amen.
We praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe. You call us to holiness with the mitzvah of Shabbat, the sign of your love, a reminder of your creative work and of our liberation from Egyptian bondage, our day of days. On Shabbat especially, we hearken to your call to serve you as a holy people. We praise you, O God, for the holiness of Shabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. Is there enough to share? I'm impressed. You may be seated, but please say Shabbat Shalom to someone you came in with and someone you didn't come in with. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. We come back to page 83 at the bottom of the page. 83, we'll read responsively at the bottom of the page. There are days when we seek material things and measure failure by what we do not own. We wish not to acquire, but to share. There are days when we exploit nature with reckless greed. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we think only of ourselves. On Shabbat, we open our hearts to the needs of others. Therefore, we welcome Shabbat, day of rest, day of peace, joy, day of peace. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. The synagogue is the sanctuary of Israel. Born of our longing for the living God, it has been to Israel throughout our wanderings a visible token of the presence of God in our people's midst. Its beauty is the beauty of holiness. Steadfast it has stood as the champion of justice, mercy, and peace. Its truths are true for all people. Its love is a love for all people. Its God is the God of all people. As it has been said, my house shall be called a house of prayer for all peoples. Let all the family of Israel, all who hunger for righteousness, all who seek the eternal, find God here, and here find life. Yitgadal v'yitkadosh shmei Rabbah, be'alma divrach chiruteh, v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon, uv'chaed chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala, ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'meru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach, la'alam ul'almei almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpahar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shmei dekudisha, brichu, le'lamin kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'meru, amen. Baruchu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Oh God, how can we know you? Where can we find you? You are as close to us as breathing, yet you are farther than the farthermost star. You are as mysterious as the vast solitudes of night, yet as familiar to us as the light of the sun. To Moses you said, you cannot see my face, but I will make all my goodness pass before you. Even so does your goodness pass before us, in the realm of nature and in the joys and sorrows of life. When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when, to the last full measure of selfless devotion, we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then your goodness enters our lives and we can begin to change the world. And then you live within our hearts, and we, through righteousness, behold your presence. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem, Kivod Malechuto, Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated unless you're Alexander, and then I need you here. Hi, Alexander. Thank you for coming. Alexander is going to lead us in the Ve'ahavta on page 88. Go ahead, I'll take this one. You take that one.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
That was awesome. You shall love your eternal God with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your being. Set these words, which I command you this day, upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be symbols before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I am your eternal God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I am your eternal God. I, the Eternal One, have called you to righteousness and taken you by the hand and kept you. I have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations. We are Israel, witness to the covenant between God and God's children. This is the covenant I make with Israel. I will place my Torah in your midst and write it upon your hearts. I will be your God, and you shall be my people. We are Israel. Our Torah forbids the worship of race or nation, possessions or power. You who worship gods that cannot save you, hear the words of the Eternal One. I am God, there is none else. We are Israel. Our prophets proclaimed an exalted vision for the world. Hate evil and love what is good. Let justice well up as waters, and righteousness as a mighty stream. We are Israel, schooled in the suffering of the oppressed. You shall not oppress your neighbors nor rob them. You shall not stand idle while your neighbor bleeds. We are Israel, taught to beat swords into plowshares, commanded to pursue peace. Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, desolation and destruction within your borders. All your children will be taught of your God, and great shall be the peace of your children. We are Israel, O God, when we are witnesses to your love and messengers to your truth. You are my witnesses, says the Eternal One, and my servant whom I have chosen. Know me, therefore, and put your trust in me. We are Israel, O God, when we proclaim you, God our Redeemer, as did our ancestors on the shores of the Red Sea. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, malechutecha rahuvanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, Zeli anu ve'ameru, Adonai imloch, lo'olam va'ed. V'ne'emar, and it has been said, the Eternal One delivered Jacob and redeemed us from the hand of one stronger than ourselves. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. We praise you, O God, Redeemer of Israel. May we lie down this night in peace and rise up to life renewed. O God, spread over us your shelter of peace, of quiet and calm, and bless us with rest. And let a time come when morning will bring no word of war or famine or anguish, a time of happiness, of contentment and rest. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu va'al kol amo Yisrael, va'al Yerushalayim, va'al kol ha'olam. We give thanks for the night and its rest and the promise of peace for all the world. Let's see if this works today. I'll put it up here. Whoop. You can hear it, right? Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam berit olam b'ni uven b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam oti le'olam oti le'olam Vishameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Please rise for the tefillah, which begins on page 93. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, ve'Koneh HaKol, ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה God of all generations, of Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, of Sarah, Rebekah, Leah and Rachel, be praised. Your wondrous creative power fills heaven and earth. God of life and death, be praised. Through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive. Confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust. Awesome and holy God, be praised. With acts of love and truth, we hallow your name. As it is said, be holy, for I, your eternal God, am holy. God of times and seasons, be praised. Enable us through Sabbath rest to explore and learn and impart the meanings of your Torah. Make our hearts ready to serve you this day and always. Please be seated. I am going to interrupt. Since you're sitting, I'm going to interrupt. Page 94, the thing we read together, God of life and death, be praised. I had this sense that in this paragraph where it says, through us, send help to the falling, healing to the sick, freedom to the captive, and confirm your faithfulness to those who sleep in the dust. Look around, because we have done these things. This is what we do. I'm looking at all these people who have done these things, and it filled me with, we asked God to allow us to do this, and here we are doing this. We continue at the top of page 96. God who answers prayer, be praised. May we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you. In this land, in Zion restored, in all lands, you are our God, source of life and all its wonders. Be praised. You are a miracle within all we behold. You are goodness, you are compassion. We give thanks to you forever. Please read with me. God of peace, of justice, and of love, be praised. Inspire us to banish forever hatred, war, and bloodshed. Help us to establish forever one human family united in peace. God of peace, bless us with peace. Let me try this again, guys. Here. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim La'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael v'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. תשים לעולם. We now take a moment for some private prayer, the silent prayer that we have in our hearts. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. this time in our service, our hearts and our prayers turn to those who are ill or recuperating as we turn to the inside back cover of our prayer books. I'm turning off the microphone to call out the names. If you have names that you would like to add to our prayers for whom we would be praying, please call them out. Yogi and Tim Mills, his head has got to heal. For all these names, for the names that we hold in our hearts, we pray together. Oh God, in our hearts we name those who are facing illness and pain. We join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with their care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked to theirs. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. We praise you, eternal God, the source of healing and health. Mi shebeirach Avotenu Mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. And we add to this, Misheberach Avotenu V'imotenu, may the one who blessed and protected our ancestors guard all those whom we have entrusted with the responsibility of defending our freedom and protecting us in this country, in the land of Israel, and everywhere they've been called to serve. May they return home safely, and let us say Amen. So does anybody know what day it was, what day we just ended on the Jewish calendar? It was the 7th of Cheshvan. And so the 7th of Cheshvan marks two things on the Jewish calendar that I wasn't thinking about before the 7th. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I got an email that reminded me, and I was thankful for that. So one of the things is that at the end of Sukkot, which was 2 weeks ago, at the end of Sukkot, Jews all over the world include in their services a blessing, a request for rain. And so, and then 2 weeks later, today, we're supposed to have started a begging for rain. It's a special request in the services that's almost begging for rain, because now is when the drought period ends in Israel. We have rain that starts now. And somebody asked me an interesting question last week about if we're supposed to start, it starts now. Rainy season starts right, what, rainy season? Which way? Well, so that's the point. He thought it was the end of Sukkot. At the end of Sukkot, we acknowledge that we need rain. But starting now, 2 weeks later, we start begging for rain. And somebody asked me an interesting question about that this year, about on the Jewish calendar. So if this was a pilgrimage festival where everybody came to Jerusalem, and you start asking for rain, and it starts raining, then you're all trapped in Jerusalem, and it's raining on you. And so how did that work? So this is what happened, is that at the end of Sukkot, we start acknowledging that we are supposed to be getting rain. But it's not until 2 weeks later, when everybody made it home, that we start begging for rain. We start acknowledging that we need this rain, and we're grateful for the rain, and it's okay if you held off and you didn't have rain until now, because now is when it starts. And look what happens. Now we've got rain. And it's a good timing for that. So one of the things has to do with getting home and asking for rain. And so part of that influenced the modern state of Israel and the rabbis to institute a brand new holiday that is an Israel Diaspora Day. Israel Diaspora Day, where we acknowledge both parts of our heritage and how important they are. That we acknowledge that we are always connected. That we acknowledge that, especially this year, when this day, they call it Yom HaAliyah, or Israel Diaspora Israel Day, that they're connected on the Shabbat that marks the command that Avram got to leave his native land and go to a land that I will show you. Lech lecha. That's the Torah portion that we're going to talk about tomorrow. That we get this command that Avram gets the command to go forth, go for yourself, leave your command. And so I have something I wanted to read to you with your indulgence, because does anybody know what Artza is? Artza? Mother. What is Artza? It's the American Association of Reformed Zionists of America. So now, if you're sitting down, and I'm sure you knew that, Artza. Do you know how old Artza is? This year, Artza turned 40 years old. 40 years old. I still have my founding member card of Artza. I was young. I was a teenager, but I'm a founding member of Artza. The Reform movement became officially a Zionist movement also. So the guy who's now the head of Artza, Rabbi Josh Weinberg, wrote this that I thought was adorable. I thought it was helpful, and I wanted to share it with you. It's brief. So one is, it starts with a cartoon. It's a picture of an El Al airplane, and it says, "You mean if I waited a few thousand years, I could have just flown here?" That was Avraham Avinu, Abraham, saying it. So he starts with Shalom Chaverim, which means, what's Shalom Chaverim? Hello, friends, goodbye, friends. When you sing this song, Shalom Chaverim, it's goodbye, friends. It says, sometimes the Torah makes things sound so easy. This week, we read of a proposition that seems like a pretty good deal. If Avram goes forth, Lech Lecha, from his father's house to the land that God will show him, he shall become a great and blessed nation. That sounds like a no-brainer, right? Get up, leave everything behind you, just leave it, and you will become a great nation. He says, not bad at all. But then, remember, he's representing Artza too. He says, why don't more people come along on the journey? Why is that pattern true throughout Jewish history? In ancient times, when the Jews were allowed to return to Jerusalem and Babylon, many stayed behind. Even during a time of great persecution in the 1880s, most Jews preferred to emigrate here to North America rather than to the land of Israel. The Ramban, who lived from 1194 to 1270, understood and eloquently expressed this impulse to stay, and I'm not going to read it to you in Hebrew. He said, "It's increasingly difficult for a person to leave his or her land that he or she resides in, and there are his or her loved ones and companions and all of the others for whom this is also their homeland and birthplace, and for whom their parents' household is here as well. Therefore, it is upon us to state that he, Abraham left everything for the love of the Holy One. Blessed be God. He gets it. One can barely be expected to pick up and leave literally everything behind, if not for a clear ideology. As a Zionist movement, it is incumbent upon us to have a compelling ideology too. Now, it may be unrealistic to expect or even encourage a mass wave of Aliyah to Israel. That would be a game changer on the Israeli political scene. I started thinking about what that would mean. What would that mean if we all really did move to Israel? How would that change Israel? How would it change the countries we left? How would it change? It's something to think about, something I would love to talk to you about afterwards. How would that change things? But he says, let's face it, it's highly unlikely. What we do want to say is that we expect you, and he's saying that, to visit regularly, to send your kids on our programs. And it looks like Gary and I are sending our kids on Birthright at the same time. My guys are supposed to be leaving on December 25th, and so is Sarah supposed to be leaving on December 25th. Spend time in our congregations, that's what we're doing, and to not see Israel as a foreign or unfamiliar country. That requires making it a priority and setting our relationship with Israel high on our agenda. Today, or the day that's ending, the 7th of Cheshvan, that the Talmud tells us, Mishnah says, it's the rain we pray for in a liturgical tradition should fall. It's quite remarkable that thousands of years later, that's kind of important, I hope that sinks in, thousands of years later, we still pray for rain. And we pray for rain here and in Israel. We acknowledge that we are also praying on Jerusalem time. It shows that we are inextricably bound to the land and that we are connected as a people. This Shabbat, many congregations are going to celebrate Avram's conviction to go forth unto the land, and will rejoice in this Diaspora Israel Day, a day to join together, to advance relationships, and create new and relevant models for how we as a people relate to one another and the Jewish state. So, and he's got, I think, one more thing to say. So he had a podcast going on today. I want you to think about what it means to you. I want you to let me know what you think about going to Israel, setting up another trip. We've tried before. I'm ready to try again. This has become a priority for me. I think we need to go. I think we need to go a bunch. And I want to know what kind of a trip you would like to go on, and let me know. You want it to be just us? You want it to be an interfaith? I want to know what you want to do, because I'm ready. So, speaking about ready, Mr. President, I'm ready for you to tell us what's going to happen this weekish at B'nai Zion, upcoming. And happy Diaspora Israel Day.
Thanks to Sylvia and Carl. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. There will be religious school and Hebrew classes this Sunday, but will not be blessing the pets because the prediction is for extremely cold weather. Next week we have Simcha Shabbat, when we bless everyone with birthdays or anniversaries in November. Next Sunday, November 5th, we will post flags at the Jewish cemeteries so that they will be in place by Veterans Day. We'll begin at 2 p.m. at the B'nai Zion section of the Greenwood Cemetery. Gudith Hakim will post flags at their cemetery at 1 p.m. 2 weeks from now, we will have the nifty Southern Conclave right here. If you are joining us for services Friday night at the Conclave, note that we will begin at 6:15 p.m. They need some items and other support. One thing you can help with is that they need 40 empty tissue boxes. Please bring empty tissue boxes to B'nai Zion. You can still fill out the online form or contact the Shifty advisors, Rachel Robichaux or Asher Neerman, to help with the conclave. Donations were made to B'nai Zion or for Pulpit Flowers in loving memory of Leonard Phillips by the Kallenberg and Phillips families. In loving memory of Ray Kreisman Selber by Mandy Selber. Thank you.
Thank you. Alexander looks like he's sleeping. Should I poke him to help me? Alexander, you want to help me up in the ark? Not really. He was so excited by my Diaspora Israel speech that he passed out. I think I put almost everybody to sleep this time. That was kind of cool. I was at a at church on Wednesday talking to a bunch of sixth graders, and they kind of sprawled out on the floor in this carpeted room, and half of them fell asleep. And so I told them that when it's Shabbat and I put my congregation to sleep, I think of that as a blessing. You're supposed to rest on Shabbat. And so they said, cool, and they passed out and they went to sleep. We turned to page 148, and as Alexander helps me open the ark, please rise. Yay. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And on the facing page, we're going to sing, V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. And when the ark is closed, you may be seated. By Torahs. Thank you. We continue on page 151. So first, let me tell you that I am relieved that the number of military losses has stayed, unfortunately, the same. We have 28 military losses this year. We have lost more police officers this week. We now have lost 109 this year. We lost another K-9 police officer. I think we call them officers. I think he was shot in New York. And we've lost more firefighters this week. We have 76 firefighters we've lost already this year. And we continue on page 151. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, let us meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We turn to page 152. It's hard to sing of oneness when our world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can tell us only what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and words, and what they did is a part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives most fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life now ended brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. However brief may be our time on earth, O God, you endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. We now recall the loved ones whom death has taken from us, as we remember those who died at this season in years past. We take them into our hearts with our own. Those for whom we're observing yortzites include Jesse Lewis Baker, Nanette Smith Barron, Joy G. Baskin, Bibi Fry, Herschel Goldstein, Lena Goldstein, Sally Goodman, Leo Holland, Harry H. Kelly, Sophie Laudenheimer, Meyer Morris, Leonard Phillips, Sally Abramson Schuster, Ray Kreisman Selber, Ida S. Sklar, Morris Sommer, Bertha Wagner, Ellen Hyman Saltzweil, Israel Weinstein, Lazarus Willer, and Morton Winkler. In this moment of memory, our griefs and sympathies are mingled. Loving God, we rise as together we praise your name. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 154. The translation's on 155. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yeheh shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithalev v'yithalal shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yeheh shalama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Amen. Please be seated. All right, Alexander, you got to come and join us here. Yay, Alexander. My guy. So I was going to do Hatikva as a closing song. Come up here. And then I thought maybe I'm supposed to take me out to the ball game. And I'm trying to finish quickly so you can make it to your ball game. Who do you want to win? Astros? Dodgers? All right, good. We're in good company then. I bet that the Astros or the Dodgers will win. Ready? Hold on. Hold on. Let me get you a microphone too so we can hear you sing. I want to hear you sing. Dum-de-dum. Can you smell it? How's it smell? It's just you and me sharing this one, huh? Ready? Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'tei avon. All right, you get it. It's yours. Go take it. Share it with people. It's what happens when you get to come by yourself. It's a good thing. So pretend we sang Hatikva and take me out to the ball game, or Hatikva to take me out to the ball, or take me out, whatever. Please rise for the closing benediction. There's more challah up there if you want. Thank you, Alexander. Thank you. It's a blessing for us to be together. I appreciate you being here. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God bless you. May God protect you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the light of God's face shine upon you, be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you. May God grant you peace. Shabbat shalom. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the... And